Hey guys, welcome to ThriveKids. I'm Miss Ashley.
And I'm Miss Chelsea.
And we are so happy to have you here with us today. All right, our question for this service is, what's one thing that makes you feel better when you're feeling sad? I'll give you a minute to think about it. Miss Chelsea, how about you? What's something that makes you feel better?
You know what I really like when I'm not feeling too great? It's like a really warm cup of tea.
Ooh.
It's really comforting and it's warm and almost feels like getting a hug. So I really like a cup of tea.
Well, Miss Chelsea, you know what mine is?
What?
A hug. That's what makes me feel better. It is. What makes you guys feel better? Oh, that's awesome. I love that. You know, we all have different things that make us feel better when we're feeling down, right? Like Miss Chelsea likes her tea. I like a hug, but I like tea too. You'd like a hug too, right?
Of course, yeah.
Yeah. And we can all feel down from time to time. We're going to talk a little bit more about what makes us feel down in a bit. But when we're dealing with feelings of sadness, we can remember that God comforts us. And that's our need to know for today. When I feel down, God comforts me. All right, so we're going to get into our worship song. So get ready, stand up, get your muscles moving so you can dance along with our song.
You know when I'm lonely, you know when I'm sad, I know, and then you are with me, yeah, you are with me. You know when I'm worried, you know when I'm mad, I know, and then I can trust you, yeah, I can trust you. You don't want perfection, you just want my best. And when my mind is racing, you will give me rest. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything. You know when I'm lonely, you know when I'm sad, I know, and then you are with me, yeah, you are with me. You know when I'm worried, you know when I'm mad, I know, and then I can trust you, yeah, I can trust you. You don't want perfection, you just want my best. And when my mind is racing, you will give me rest. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything.
You are greater than all I feel. You know it all and you always will. I trust in you with all that I've got. Doesn't even matter if I feel it or not. You are greater than all I feel. You know it all and you always will. I trust in you with all that I've got. Doesn't even matter if I feel it or not.
God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything. God is greater, greater than my feelings. He knows everything, He knows everything.
What's up, friends? I'm Jill Dozer, and I'm feeling excited about what we're learning during this series, Blueprints. We're talking all about feelings because God gave us lots of different emotions and He wants us to use them in the right way. We've discussed how important it is to stop, look, and listen when feelings start to creep up. In just a little bit, we'll talk more about that and we'll practice. But for now, I want you to put your eyes on the screen and check out what our friends Skip and Susanna are up to this week.
Hey Skip, how's it going? Did you get that toilet situation fixed?
Sue's. Toilet situation? We don't have time for your bathroom humor today. I expected more from you.
What? No, Skip, don't you remember? The pipes are broken and now the toilet is out of order. If we try to use it, it will literally explode, like water everywhere.
Never fear, I just need to brush up.
Maybe we should call a plumber?
Nah, I got this.
Okay, well, I wouldn't wait too long if I were you. It's the only toilet in the building, and if it's not working, that could spell trouble.
Suze, you worry too much. It'll get done.
I'm counting on you. We don't have a lot of time.
But really, what is time? Plus, I just need to finish a few things around here, like this Zing Cola. 128 ounces of pure deliciousness. Now, this Minecraft tower isn't going to build itself. And if I had to choose between Minecraft and a toilet, well, that's a no-brainer. Oh man, okay. So, that 128 ounces of cola is kind of sneaking up on me. Skip, mind over matter. Think about something that doesn't have to do with what needs to happen. Like, I don't know, waterfalls or a big swimming pools or didn't work. Okay, time to do the dance. Not working either. I gotta do what I gotta do. This is not a good look. What have I done?
Oh no, Skip. I was gonna ask what happened, but I think I already know.
Suze, this is awful. Today was going so great. I had my Minecraft, a soda the size of my head. I was just kicking back, living my best life. Now this is the worst day ever. I just don't even say it. I know what you're gonna say. I told you so, Skip. You should have fixed the toilet, or at least tried to call a plumber. But that'll make me feel even worse.
Skip, I was gonna say I'm sorry you feel down. Yeah, you made a mistake, but I will help you get all cleaned up and it'll be good as new.
Really, Suze?
Really, really.
You know what would make me feel better? A hug.
Are you sure that's the only thing that will make you feel better?
Oh, come on, Suze. It's just a small gesture, and it would bring me so much comfort.
Okay. Hugs are the best. Give me 1 second. Okay, ready for that hug now.
Oh, poor Skip and poor Susanna for having to hug someone all covered in toilet water. Ooh. Oh, that's a true friend. Now, Skip was feeling pretty emotional, and whenever that happens, the first thing we need to do is stop, right? Stopping helps us to slow down and name what we're really feeling. This is important because we're all wrapped up in our emotions. Things can seem worse than they actually are. If we're not careful, we might make decisions that we can't undo. So, to help us practice stopping and giving our feelings a name, let's take a look at the screen. As you see, there are emojis on the screen. We're going to pick out which emotions we just saw Susanna have by making faces like these emojis. On the count of 3, I want everyone to guess which emotions you saw in the video by making a face just like the emojis. Those are all great guesses, everyone. I saw a lot of emotions on your faces. Now I'm going to show you the correct answer. We saw Skip feeling all 3 of these. He was worried about the mess he had made, he felt guilty for not taking care of the toilet problem before it was too late, and he felt so sad about being covered in toilet water that he started to put himself down. Anyone here ever felt like this? Same here. Feeling down can look different in different ways, right? There's so many different things that can make us feel down and in the dumps. But when we don't take time to deal with these feelings, we'll miss out on the joy that comes from knowing that God wants to be our friend, and He wants to be the one that comforts us when we're down. But that's why we have to stop and then deal with how we feel. And when dealing with our feelings, step 2 is also important. We've got to look, right? So looking helps us to see what's really going on. Skip was feeling so down that he thought his entire day was ruined. But all he had to do was look around and see that the mess could get cleaned up and Susanna was going to be there to help him. Then the rest of the day could actually be better. Then Skip needed to take a few minutes to do step 3. Does anybody remember what step 3 is? It's listen. Good, okay? So listening to what God says is true is very important in dealing with how we feel. When I find myself feeling kind of down in the dumps, I can go to my blueprint for life, the Bible, to help me remember the truth. And the story we're about to hear, we'll find out about a guy who is seriously feeling down. Let's take a look at what happened when God showed up and comforted him. Check it out.
Hey everybody, listen up. Here's what God has to say.
Aw, yeah. What you got for us today?
Today we're talking about when we feel down.
Oh, that's the worst feeling. Like when you get a bad grade or your brother knocks over your Lego tower? The one that took over a week to build?
When you're feeling down, you can remember it's not the end of the world. God is always there to comfort you. This reminds me of a guy in the Bible named Jonah and how God comforted him when he was feeling down in the dumps.
Oh man, did his best friend move away? That would make me feel pretty upset.
That would be hard to deal with. But Jonah was down because he didn't want to do something that God had asked him to do. God asked him to go to a place called Nineveh and tell the people living there to stop being bad.
Makes sense. Get them to stop being bad. Like, hey guys, cut it out! Done and done. Easy.
Well, there was just one problem. Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh. He knew the people there were not acting the way that they should, but instead of helping them, he thought they should be punished for their mistakes.
So what, he wanted God to ground them or something?
Something like that. Instead of listening to God and going to Nineveh, Jonah took off in the opposite direction.
Oh no!
Oh yes, Jonah ran all the way to the sea, found a ship, and paid the captain to let him come aboard. Then Jonah found a place inside to lay down and take a nap.
Taking a snooze? Not listening to God must be pretty exhausting.
I'm not sure, but as soon as the boat left the shore, a very bad storm came up and started tossing the boat around.
Back and forth and back and forth. I bet there was lightning, crash, and thunder, and waves crashing over the boat.
Everyone was so afraid that they started to throw their stuff overboard in hopes that they wouldn't drown.
Overboard!
The captain went to find Jonah and said, "How can you sleep? Get up and pray to your God. Maybe he can help us." Meanwhile, the sailors decided that the storm was Jonah's fault.
They were probably all like, Jonah, what have you done? Make it stop.
Exactly. And Jonah told them, "I believe in the Lord, the God of heaven, who made the sea and the land, and I am running away from something God asked me to do. It's my fault this is happening. If you throw me into the sea, the storm will stop."
Speaking of stop right there. Are you saying that Jonah told the sailors to throw him off the boat? I mean, I get it that Jonah probably fell down because he was putting these men in this storm, but that's crazy talk.
You heard me right. The men didn't want to do it, but after praying, they knew they had to. They picked up Jonah and threw him into the water. Instantly, the storm was over and the sea became still.
So that's the end of Jonah?
No way. Get this. When they threw Jonah off the boat, he was swallowed up by a great big fish. Isn't that crazy? God actually sent the fish to keep Jonah from drowning, and he stayed in the fish for 3 days and 3 nights.
Oh man, that's comforting, but I can't even imagine. No windows and covered in disgusting fish guts for 3 whole days? Yuck!
While Jonah was inside the fish, he did a lot of praying and said, "When my life was nearly over, I remembered you, Lord. My prayer rose up to you. You are the one who saves." Then God told the fish to spit Jonah out onto dry land.
Bleh. I bet Jonah was happy to be out of that fish. He probably needed the longest shower in the history of showers.
Then the Lord told Jonah a second time to go to Nineveh and tell the people there to stop being bad.
Please tell me he listened this
Oh,
time.
he sure did. Jonah obeyed God and left for Nineveh right away. When Jonah got there, he told the people to stop doing bad things or their city would be destroyed. To Jonah's surprise, the people listened and the city was saved.
And they all lived happily ever after. The end.
Well, that could be the end of the story, except Jonah left the city feeling down. He was upset that God didn't punish them all. So Jonah went on a hill and sulked. When God saw Jonah, he knew how Jonah was feeling and comforted him. God explained to Jonah that he loves everyone and would rather see people turn from their bad ways and do good again.
So God comforted Jonah when he was feeling down?
Yep, and he'll comfort us too, no matter what we're going through.
Even in the belly of a fish?
Even in the belly of a fish. Because when we're feeling down, God comforts us.
As you saw from that true story, Jonah made some decisions that left him feeling pretty sad. But God came alongside of Jonah and he comforted him. Feelings of sadness can come and go for so many different reasons. But the truth is, God knows how we're feeling and he's right there with us the whole time. When we stop and then we look and we listen, we can feel God comforting us each time sadness starts to creep in. So when you're feeling sad, remember the truth that God comforts you too. And that's what we need to know today. So everybody go ahead and say it with me. So we're gonna say it together first, all right? So when I feel down, God comforts me. All right, now can you do the motions with me? When I feel down, God comforts me. Good job, guys, that was awesome.
All right, let's talk a little bit more about Jonah. Jonah was feeling pretty down in the dumps, but as we read, we'll see how God comforted him. The very first thing we're looking for is something that might make you slip and fall. See if you can find it in the picture. It's also something that a monkey would eat. Do you see it? That's right, we're looking for a banana. Did anyone get it? All right, let's keep going. Jonah was feeling down because he didn't want to do something that God asked him to do. God wanted Jonah to go to a place called Nineveh and tell the people who were living there to stop doing wrong things. But Jonah didn't want to go to Nineveh because he knew how bad it was there. Jonah was feeling like the people of Nineveh should be punished for doing wrong things. But God just wanted Jonah to go and to help them make better choices. Even though God made it very clear to Jonah that he was supposed to go and he was supposed to make a difference in Nineveh, Jonah disobeyed God. Jonah decided that if God wanted him to go to Nineveh, he was going to run away in the opposite direction. He ended up in a boat with some fishermen. Now, in this picture, we're looking for something that could give you an 8-armed hug. Does anyone see it? All right, if you spotted the octopus, you got this one right. Nice job. So, do you guys think Jonah was able to run away from God? No way. God is always with us, and he knows everything. God knew exactly where Jonah was. So, to show Jonah that he was right there along, God sent a crazy storm to the ocean, right where Jonah's boat was sailing. It didn't take the boat captain very long to realize that the storm was following Jonah. And Jonah knew it too. So he told the men on the boat to throw him overboard. Whoa! Surely this was the end for Jonah, right? Nope, because God was still with Jonah. God actually sent a big fish just to swallow him right up. Now, I know what you're thinking. You might be thinking that it was kind of a mean thing for God to do. But it was actually one of the ways that God comforted Jonah. The fish kept Jonah from drowning. When Jonah was in the belly of the fish, it was really dark. But in this picture, we see things that give us light in the nighttime sky. What are we looking for? Yep, you got it. We're looking for stars. Quick, without counting. Raise your hand if you want to guess how many stars you think are in this picture. Anyone? If you said 33 stars, then you got it right. Did you know that God doesn't have to count how many stars are in the sky? The Bible says God knows all the stars, and he gave each one of them names. That's so cool. Okay, back to our story. How long do you think Jonah was in the belly of that fish? Let's find out. Well, he was in the fish for 3 whole days. He was right in the fish's belly. While he was in there, Jonah talked to God a lot. Jonah said that he realized God was the one listening to him and taking care of him. So on the 3rd day, the big fish spit Jonah out on dry land, along with his dinner from a few days before that. Ugh. Jonah was probably covered in fish guts, and I'm sure he smelled awful. How many little fish did this big fish eat for dinner? Can you guys tell? Yep, 5 little fish pictured here. If you guessed 5, you got it right. Nice job. Once Jonah landed on the shore, God told him to go to Nineveh. For real this time. Do you think Jonah obeyed God? Yep, Jonah did obey God this time. He went to Nineveh and told them the good news that God loved them and that they should turn from making wrong choices to making better decisions. And the people of Nineveh listened to Jonah. But Jonah still felt like they should be punished for all those wrong things they had done in the past. But God didn't punish them at all, which made Jonah feel kind of down again. Do you think God just left Jonah feeling down? Of course not. God saw that Jonah was sitting alone and feeling sad, so God comforted Jonah with the truth. God helped Jonah understand that he loves everyone. God was happy that the people were now making right choices. Just like God comforted Jonah, God comforts you and me too. Alright guys, we know that everyone feels down sometimes. I mean, friends, family, babies, grown-ups, even your grandparents. Everyone has these times where they're just not feeling so great. And a lot of times, because of this, we have special things that make us feel better. For example, a baby might use something like this to feel better. It's a pacifier, and when they're crying, sometimes it helps them feel comforted. And then, when you get a little bit older, you might have something like this. A stuffed animal. I know lots of kids have stuffed animals that make them feel better, and a lot of times, this is what brings them comfort. But did you know adults have things that make them feel better too? So, one of the things that might make an adult feel better is actually a nice warm blanket. Sometimes being wrapped in a blanket makes us feel really comforted, just like a kid. There's also sometimes our favorite snack also helps us to feel a little bit better. Maybe something we really like eating or something that reminds us of a happy time. Sometimes we're comforted by a snack. And another thing adults might like is some music. Sometimes our favorite song can really help us feel better when we're feeling kind of down. And these are all really great things, and they definitely make us feel better, but it doesn't compare to the comfort that we get from God when we're feeling sad. In fact, the Bible tells us that we can get peace and comfort that doesn't even compare to the things that we have. And we get this peace from God by talking to Him through prayer and by reading our Bible. So even if you have something that makes you feel better, don't forget the most important thing. It's the comfort we get from God. Let's practice our memory verse together.
All right, guys, time for our memory verse. So I'm gonna say it first, and then you're gonna repeat after me, okay? But even if we don't feel at ease, God is greater than our feelings.
God is greater than our feelings.
And He knows everything.
And He knows everything.
1 John 3:20.
1 John 3:20.
All right, great job, guys. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna add in the motions, okay? So, but even if I don't feel at ease, God is greater than our feelings.
God is greater than our feelings.
And He knows everything.
And He knows everything.
1 John 3:20.
1 John 3:20.
Awesome job, guys.
That was great. All right, guys.
Miss Chelsea, you're going to lead us in prayer?
Yep, absolutely. All right. Dear Lord, thank you so much that we're still able to learn about you through these videos. God, I pray that this week, if there's anything that makes us feel kind of down or sad, I pray that you would help us to remember that we can talk to you and we can read your word, God, and that you'll comfort us. I pray that as we start getting ready to maybe go back to school or to come back and visit at Thrive, God, I pray that you would just help us to stay safe and to stay healthy. And God, I pray that we'll be able to be together again very soon. We pray this in your name. Amen.
Amen. Bye, guys.